Thanks, Christina. I'll just start with a photo of pegmatite on the ground with one of our geologists, Sam, walking through there. Bulletin, as Christina said, we're a well-funded lithium and gold explorer. We've got over $12 million in funds. We're fairly tightly held, with the top 20 shareholders owning 47% of the company. And the board of management's also got a lot of skin in the game with 25%. I'd like to make a note of Mr. Keith Muller as our new director. Keith, for those who are aware, used to be the general manager of the Mount Cattlin lithium operations, which is just down the road from us. Brings a lot of experience in lithium development and mining in the area, and particularly in our Ravensthorpe area. We're very lucky to have him on board, and we hope to be using his skills soon. Our Ravensthorpe project, we think, is one of our most prospective spodumene lithium projects, awaiting drilling approvals. We're in the Ravensthorpe area, which is a known mining area, with Mount Cattlin just 12 kilometres away. There's potential near processing facilities are there. We've got strong surface mineralisation of spodumene at surface, and it's coarse and high grade, and what work we've done shows that it should go very well through a milling processing circuit. We found over 100 pegmatites already, and we're still working to find some more. Because we're so close to Mount Cattlin, we're using Mount Cattlin as an exploration model. It's in the same geology as us in the Allan Belt volcanics, and what we're seeing on ground looks very similar. So their resource currently now stands at 13.3 million tonnes at 1.2% lithium. Their current mine plan is to 2025, and they're pushing forward to 2027, but like everybody in the area, in the lithium game, they're trying to find more. Their spodumene pegmatites have a lepidolite to the northeast. They're gently dipping. There's numerous pegmatites, not just the one, and what they're seeing is that they're stacked with variable thicknesses. And that's what we're tending to see on the ground as well. We're seeing two pegmatite trends. And the first pegmatite trend I'll talk about is our eastern trend, and that's where we've got our highest spodumene grades up to 7% lithium in the rock chips. The trend extends over 4 kilometres in length, and as I mentioned earlier, we've got over 100 pegmatites to date. And I'd just like to point out, if this works, I'm just going to talk about this main area in here where we're seeing multiple stacked spodumene pegmatites. The big pegmatite, as we're calling it, is what we're calling a concentrated stacked swarm of pegmatites. Up to 40 pegmatites we've noted on ground, again with very coarse grained spodumene, which is very important for the processing side of things. The pegmatites as individual units are up to 200 metres wide. We've seen on surface, we believe they're up to about 10 metres thickness, but they may pinch and swell, just like at Mount Cattlin, and they dip very gently into our tenement at 10 to 30 degrees to the west. That's going to be our main drilling target. Just some quick examples of the coarseness of the spodumene. They're up to hammer size, up to 30 centimetres in size that we're seeing through there. The western trend is what's been historically explored for the past. It's dominated by lepidolite. There was historical costing there of 10 metres at 1.1% lithium. The drilling around it didn't prove up too much. We've been working further south, finding lepidolite and rock chip grades, up to 4.5%, which is pretty good for lepidolite. But we've also just discovered, and if I push on to the next slide, spodumene samples. It's the first time we've seen significant spodumene on the western trend there. It's just north on our tenement boundary. All comes immediately to the south of us there. But we're seeing, although the grades are lower, it's a bit more oxidising there, and the spodumene is a bit finer grain, but it's certainly encouraging. We've seen a 100 metre long strike up to 10 metre wide spodumene bearing pegmatite in that area. And just some quick examples of lepidolite and spodumene in the western trend itself. And as mentioned, we're seeing both coarse and finer grade spodumene in the western trend, whereas on the eastern trend, it's all what we're seeing has all been coarser grain material. And the reason I go on about the finer grain and the coarser grain is that it is important as an end product. We've done some preliminary test work in the area, and we've seen that it's conventional processing methods, just like what Mount Cattlin has. Good concentrate grades of greater than 6% lithium. Importantly, very low in iron, so it's a very low deleterious. It's going to be a good quality product. And further processing, our consultants are saying, is likely to improve outcomes. This was just simple desktop work in the labs. So it's all as we find more and as we get more samples and through drilling, we expect to do more of this work and hopefully prove that it should be something there that's worth the value as a saleable product. So where are we at? We're keen to go drilling. Our main area is at the big pegmatite area. We've completed our spring environmental surveys. We are working within a Kokarinnup Timber Reserve. Consent was provided to us to explore the tenement. That doesn't mean we can just walk on the ground. It is an area that is forested and there is significant vegetation in the area. So we've done our flora and fauna surveys in the area. They've found the work we're doing is not going to have significant impact. We've presented that to the departments and we hope to get a response shortly. But we're also wanting to do the right thing by the community in the area too. Mining's becoming a large activity in the area here. We have not only ourselves in here, but we also have a large nickel mine just around the corner from us as well. So it's important to look at the long term to make sure we're a good community person in the area. So we're doing more than what's the minimum required, and with the intent that we're going to be here for the long term. While we're waiting for our permits to come through, we're not standing still. We're still looking at expanding the potential of the area in the local area here. Earlier this year, we did some LiDAR work over the forested areas, and we've identified over 50 new targets. And indeed, the spodumene that we saw in the Western Trend was from this work. We're still mapping in the area. We think there may be potential for a third pegmatite trench to the west, so we're just going to keep on working. And we're also looking further north. We picked up some ground recently, just immediately north of us, which is more in farming land. Can't use LiDAR in farming land because it's all been graded, but we can use other geophysical methods such as radiometrics. And we've done some surveys over the area and we have a 2-kilometre trend in there, which is ready for us to start doing some soil sampling. So while we're well funded and we've got where we can, we'll keep on looking at further acquisitions in the area if they're viable for us. Just quickly, I want to have a touch on our other projects, Lake Rebecca Gold Project. We've just come back from there. Thank you. Just come back from there doing a diamond drilling program. It's down the southern end of the Canopy terrain where there's large low-grade deposits. And there's 2 in our area there, Rebecca and Lake Roe. We've done some RC drilling on the land. We've also done extensive air core drilling further along strike. And this is where we've been doing our diamond drilling as an initial concept test to see whether there's mineralisation at depth. We've had some up to 7 kilometres of anomalous soils in ground. It's certainly an area worth testing on a large, low-scale deposit. And there certainly is a lot of interest in the area in the gold market as well for this part. Just very quickly on Chifley Gold Project. It's about 50 kilometres south of our Lake Rebecca Gold Project, just 20 kilometres down the road from Lake Marlborough. It's in a dilational zone on a granite setting, very typical of the gold deposit settings in the area. We're doing some gold in soils in there. Should it come good, we'll be doing some more air core drilling in that area as well. So that's Bulletin in a quick nutshell for you. It's good early stage exposure to lithium. We've got a great project area, great fundamentals in terms of moving forward in the area. Got a strong cash position to move ourselves going forward, and we're always looking to add value to what we're doing. So thanks very much for your time.